Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome back the GOAT of all TCF guests. We've had him on the pod at least 10 times now. You know him. You love him. He's the director of morale for your Cubbies. You can catch him on Twitter at Dom_Frederic, the man that needs no introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT, Dom Frederic. Fred, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. It is, man, you guys need to go back in the archives to see when the first time was that I came on this podcast. Had to have been 2018.
Yeah, it probably was.
How long have you been doing it for?
We just had our 4-year anniversary back like January 31st, and it wasn't much longer after that.
Yeah, it had to have been 4 years.
Yeah, that's crazy,
dude. Wow, something like that. Anyways, you guys know you all are the best, and I'm super happy to be here. I'm fired up to talk Cubs, Bulls, whatever, and it's great to talk to you guys as always.
Yeah, we got the Bulls, like I said, playing well. We talked a little bit before how it's a little stressful right now for the Bulls, but we also got baseball coming up here.
Absolutely. And Zach, I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to congratulate you guys. 130 episodes.
130.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, and that was even before we did like other ones too, before we started actually numbering our episodes or whatever.
130 is
so Fred, actually, I got to interject here. We have 30 episodes. This was back in our Zach. What was it? Was it what's the SoundCloud when we used to release episodes on there? We have 30 episodes on there that
put
we
the link in all your tweets.
So we're at 160.
So this is actually 160.
That's not counting the morning show either.
The morning shows? Does that
no way.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
We
had a string of
content.
Wow.
We had that string of like a year where we were doing daily shows like 3 to 5 times a week. So
yeah, there was nothing else to do.
Yeah, that's true.
You had the morning shows? Wow.
Anyway, yeah, those got a little crazy.
Thank you very much, Tom.
You all deserve a big round of applause and congrats.
That's very nice. That's very nice of you to say.
200 something, whatever it is, that's crazy.
I've only been here for like maybe half of it too, so that's more on these two, that's for sure.
It's all an accomplishment. It's awesome.
Thank you.
So Dom, I gotta ask. It was a busy day for you on Twitter. As Boomy, he threw out your obviously must follow Twitter handle out there, but I gotta ask you: is it different here now? Are you the direct marketing arm of the Chicago Cubs now, or what's the deal here?
You know, guys, I know you've been following me for a long time, or we've had a relationship for a long time now, and I think you probably picked up that I'm a stubborn individual that is just going to go along with whatever I think is the best, way to talk about the team or think about the team, whatever it may be. And
that's a good soldier speaking right
there.
Yeah,
you're right. And you know what? Eventually, people catch on. And I'm honored that the phrase is being used. I'm honored that I've been recognized and that I have had, how do I want to put it? Building a relationship, as I used to joke with Ian Happ, building a relationship with the Cubs. We're on the same page with everything. And yeah, it's cool. A lot of kind words today. It's kind of like I've been made fun of so often. I know a lot of people are fans of what I do, but I've been made fun of so often for like all my sayings, like Cubs in 4, like it's different here, like all the stupid stuff that I say, right? And then when you see something like this, which is like, I mean, much bigger than like a Twitter account. Like I think people forget like all the individuals that had to sign off on this and all like the big decisions that were made to make a major league franchises slogan be this. There's a lot of things that happen with that, and I don't want to call it validation, but it is. I don't know. It is kind of validating in a sense that kind of what you've been talking about for a long time with the Cubs is now actually being used by the organization. So it's really cool. And again, I'm very thankful for everyone that's been involved. And honestly, I thought there would be a lot of like hate or a lot of people saying like, oh, like you're going along with this guy again. There really wasn't any of that, and I appreciated that, and it was good to see.
Hey, a little silhouette of the morale bear in the background wouldn't have hurt. That's all I'm going to say.
You are right. You are right. I should have negotiated that a little harder. That's actually a great point. Yeah, it's actually a great point.
But just a little faint one, just hide it in there like an Easter egg.
You're right.
It is true though. After tweeting after 162 games every season and stuff, it's just got to feel good to like that they know what you're doing, and it's like it's not just been for nothing.
Yeah, and like I know we were talking before this, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but to get that type of recognition and to talk to the people in the building who actually know what I do, and they're not just like fake fans, and they're not just like Wilbons, and they're like they actually know what's going on. Now, I can't like speak for every single individual that works there, but to speak to a few and really like have just like a really good conversation, not only about the Cubs and about the team and everything they want to do, but also like about what I do was humbling and definitely an experience that I'm incredibly thankful for.
That's awesome. We were kind of talking though before the podcast also that 2 weeks from tomorrow will be opening day. Dom, do you consider this offseason a win or a loss?
Oh man, that's a great question. Can I do like in between? Can I do like average?
Yeah, you can do that. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna
call
it
81 and 81. That sounds like right.
I'm gonna call it a season. I can't call it a loss because they did sign two hopefully very impactful players in Stroman. And Stroman's deal, like I will go to the grave by saying this. I honestly think what happened, and I don't have any insider information on this, and if Jed wants to refute my opinion, please go ahead and do so. But I genuinely believe what happened is that last day of the deadline going into the lockout, Jed gets word on what the contract should look like to sign Marcus Stroman. He picks up the phone, calls the agent. Marcus gets to LAX, flies to the Federal Landmark, and they get one of the most team-friendly deals done in a while. 3 years for $71 million. I mean, why would you not pay that? It makes no sense. So, like, and I don't know why. I don't want this to sound negative, but I don't know why Marcus settled on that. I feel like the market would have been better. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but for 3 years, 71 mil, like that's nothing for a guy who's going to take the ball every day, a guy that's going to get ground balls, have an ERA under 3.5. Like we know what he is. He's consistent. He's had like a few, rough patches in his career, but not anything that would like really alarm you. And I think the money's very, very reasonable for what you're getting. For Seiya, hopefully an impact player. I think there is going to be this adjustment period to what he can do, how he can produce, him obviously getting to know the major league game. Not trying to discredit the professional baseball he played in Japan, but I think there's definitely going to be an adjustment period. And I'm calling it a tie because A, they should have signed Carlos Correa. But B, the plus not only to the fact that they signed these guys, but they did sign them in this offseason. So hopefully in 23 and 24, Seiya and Stroman are actually acclimated to Chicago, to the organization, and they can truly produce as professionals compared to a Jason Hayward coming in 2016, deer in the headlights, not going to work out, bad news coming in, hurt, expectations, doesn't work out in 2018. We know that story, right? So I think that's the positive, but the negative is that they didn't go all in to sign a premier shortstop who could, play a huge role in the organization for 10 years. Now, I know that's a lot to ask, but you're the Chicago Cubs. You're about to buy Chelsea FC. Like, come on. There's no excuse for that. There's just not. I'm sorry. There's not.
Speaking of other names that have obviously been floated around, KB, Rizzo, Javi, left fielder are now signed other deals, and like you said, prove Jed was right. Can you explain to the Cubs fans who might still have a sour taste in their mouth after those trades and signings as to why Jed was why he actually was now looking back? Obviously, we have retrospect, but looking back, why was Jed right on those?
Yeah, and I'm going to speak specifically to Javi and Rizzo. I think Chris is – it depends on who you talk to, because this whole thing with Chris Bryant is still so confusing. There are some people that are adamant that he was never offered a deal. I find that incredibly, incredibly hard to believe, that he was just never offered a contract.
That would set me off if that was legit.
Exactly. Like, I find that just incredibly hard to believe. I know Cap has his report that he's gone off of for 4-something years. Heyman tweeted it out. I know maybe Buster Olney or Rosenthal has said something in the past about that. But regarding Javi and Rizzo, I mean, they took lesser deals. I mean, Rizzo even said it himself. And I don't want to say, like, I think the Jed is right thing is I don't think it's as binary as someone might take it. It's not like Jed is like celebrating that, they signed lesser deals, because I think everyone, even him, would be like, our team would be better off if you had a Javi Baez or an Anthony Rizzo. But I can't fault him if he made these offers and then the players just didn't take it and they didn't want to negotiate, and they said, you know what? And Rizzo has spoken about this adamantly over the years, and I've always paid attention to this. He's always made comments like, I can't wait until I cash in, or I can't wait till I get the big payday. He's always had that attitude, which he has every right to do so, but it ultimately, I mean, I'll say it now, it didn't work out for him, because I know he's going to say, like, I can make this money when I'm 34, 35, but Anthony, I'm sorry, like, the track record doesn't really show that that's the case. Like, if you're betting on yourself at 34 and 35 and 36, you better have some big years in the next 2 years to like get that payday. I just think it's really hard, and I don't mean to discredit him, but I just find it really difficult that he's going to find himself in a scenario where he's going to cash in on something bigger than what the Cubs have given him.
But with the Rizzo, though, it's like, unfortunately for him, he's in a spot where Yankees fans wanted Correa and they wanted the big signings. And then when they got Rizzo, it's not a bad signing for them, but they wanted more.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you know how Yankees fans can get. It's just like
savages.
The problem for Rizzo
for him, I love Rizzo, and I think he got good money, but if
he plays a position that's easy to fill, unfortunately.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah. So, and I mean, the back is an issue. It's, it's like
production's been an issue at times.
The production's been an issue. And like, I was talking to a lot of people over the offseason who were saying, like, it just makes a lot of sense for Rizzo to come back to the Cubs. And I agree. Like,
I wouldn't have been upset.
Yeah. Definitely. Left-handed hitter. It's not going to strike out. Veteran presence. He can get clutch hits. He can maybe hit for power. But at the same time, I don't think, like, you wouldn't be looking as that type of player to be a, like, big impact signing. He got a 2-year deal for a reason.
Right.
Like, yeah, sure, he got the opt-out, but, like, he got it for the reason that, like, that's the market. Javi, on the other hand, like, I mean, I still can't believe the Cubs offered him $180 million and he turned that down. I just think it's crazy. And I know we got $140, but I mean, see, I don't want to come off like a jerk and say, like, good luck and sound like, oh, you're going to hate it there. But, like, the Tigers, like, Detroit, like, I know that sounds bad. I know we got paid, but it's just not the same. I'm sorry. Like, I think some of these players, I tweeted out last week, I think this is the prime example of pride getting the best of human beings. Guys not, taking their losses and just I don't want to say settle, but like just taking the money that's there and right off in the sunset. If Anthony Rizzo takes that deal, $70 million, he's Derek Jeter. He's Derek Jeter in Chicago. Now he's I don't want to call him a journeyman, but he wasn't able to finish it. And I can't fault Jed by offering him a fair market price. What am I supposed to say? So it's, and I know fans are going to be – I know fans have very strong feelings about this. I know people think that, you should just pay them all. And I know I've made that argument myself. But I just can't – if I was to keep, talking about Cubs baseball, I'd be lying if I said, no, they messed up. They messed up. It's all about the players. They're in the right. I can't say that. So it's unfortunate, and I've already gone over Chris. I might want you to cut this out, but I'm not surprised. He took the money and took the money with. It's it's going to come off bad, but like I'm not surprised. This is completely fair. What we always thought was going to happen. It was always about getting the contract.
Well, when you go with Boris, that's
yeah,
exactly. And I don't know if that's I don't want to sound like a jerk or mean by saying it or trying to disparage him for doing so, but I think I've talked to you guys about this. It always felt with Chris that everything he did, which he has every right to do so, always came with a dollar amount. It always came with, I need this in return to do that. I need that in return to do this. He has every right to do that, but I'm not surprised he ended up going to Colorado and taking the money. And he has every right to do it. I want to be clear on that.
Especially with an organization that has kind of run out some of their star players in a way.
Exactly.
Like Arenado wanted to get out of there. It's just like
let's not kid ourselves. The service time issue was a thing too.
Yeah,
that was a shot fired in his opinion.
For sure.
But I don't really think that went into it. I think it really was, where can I get the most money?
For sure.
Which is good for KB. Yeah, it's good for KB.
It's good
but
for
like
him.
you said, it didn't seem like it was where am I going to go win?
But
Scott Boras clients don't take hometown discounts at the end of the day.
No,
just don't.
Correct.
They don't take a discount at all.
Right.
Can we look at and I know they're different players, but actually I would kind of argue now at this stage in their career, they're kind of similar. We can see, and while it was Brizzo, while it was the two guys together, you can see the difference in opinion between Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo says, fine, I will take the loss of me not, signing with the Cubs and taking the money, and I'm going to go try to play for a team that can win a World Series or like get deep in the playoffs. Chris Bryant said, I'm good. I'm going to go to Colorado, and I'll see you in 6 years at the end of my career, right? Yeah. Like and I know people are going to listen to this and they're like, oh, Fred, he doesn't like Chris Bryant. That's not the case at all. But I'm not shocked that this is how it played out.
I gotta touch base on who's here now. Going down memory lane is great. But we got a season in front of us. So I want to talk to you real quick. Just get a quick opinion on Seiya Suzuki. What do we as Cub fans need to expect? What do we got to get past the Kosuke Fukudome potential scares? I think what a lot of Cubs fans are seem to be afraid of.
Yeah, I would say honestly, if I would even go back to the Jason Hayward scares. I know it's not the same contract, but like I think the biggest thing that stands out to me now in talking to players and getting to know them, I think we need to limit expectations right off the bat. I think he's going to be in obviously a totally new environment, new country, different language. I think it's going to be very hard. And if he does succeed my expectation, it would be great. But I think it'd be very foolish to put very high expectations on him in year one, considering all the variables that he's going to have to go through. I mean, power bat supposedly makes good contact, good plate discipline, so on and so forth. I simply want to see him make progress over the year. Like, he could start off hitting like 100 in April, which would kind of suck, but if he can figure it out over the next 5 months, I think that would be a huge positive, and that's really what I'm looking at. Like, I'm not looking for any like specifics, like can he hit the ball hard, nothing like that. It's like, can he get acclimated? Can he actually progress? Is he making the same mistakes over and over? Does he seem comfortable? Like we saw it with you, man. Like he was a Japanese player who had been in the major leagues for like 6-7 years before he came to Chicago, and he still had an adjustment period here. Like, I think we can't put too much on the guy. That's why it's important that we're signing him when we are. But I'm hoping that he can find himself in a situation where, as time goes on, he gets more comfortable, and then his true potential gets seen on a consistent basis.
That's so true, because it's got to be tough. I mean, he's a rock star over there, and he's won how many batting titles and stuff, and he's going to go to being an average. I mean, he could be great, but he's just going to be an average baseball player for a little while.
And can you imagine, like, again, like he's an adult, and he's like playing in this league where
I think he started playing professional baseball at 18 years old.
Yeah. And he's like worshipped over there, right? They have like the home run chants and everything. And now, like, he's coming to a league that is arguably like twice or 3 times as hard as the league he just played in, and like, got all this all these accolades from, and so on and so forth, and like built up this persona or image from. It's got to be hard. It's like jumping from college into Major League Baseball and being expected to figure it out and produce. It's going to be tough. And we know there's going to be Cubs fans. As soon as this guy doesn't play good, it's going to be like, this guy sucks. This guy's the worst. This like, what a waste of money. Like, it's going to happen. So we'll see how
guilty.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's going to happen. So it's going to happen. And I know I've talked to you guys about it, but these players, they understand, and I think they're very in tune to what's being said about them online. Like, it's just a fact. So we'll see how he responds.
So speaking of this coming season, Fred, Pacoda has the Cubs slated for about 70, 71-ish wins. What do you think is like their true ceiling for the 2022 campaign?
Ceiling?
Despite what Pacoda says.
I would say a ceiling is probably, I think if they got to like 85 or 86 wins, I think everyone would be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What? Now, I think obviously there's a lot that would have to go into that. Like, you need Frank to be an absolute beast. You need Seiya to be an impact player. You need Nico and Madrigal to like literally be 300 hitters who are gonna get on base like 380 and never strike out.
Dom, I have a question. Is Nico Horner the strongest person in Major League Baseball? He looks just absolutely jacked.
I know, he's huge. Yeah,
he's huge.
That one guy on the Cardinals, O'Neal, is that his name?
Yeah,
that guy looks like he's been juicing for a while. Nico definitely has been in the weight room. Going back, I would probably say 85, 86 wins is the max.
Okay.
I know, I'd always say like keep the receipts on the Cubs and the Pacoda projections, and I've been hard on Pacoda. Maybe they can prove everybody wrong and really have a great receipt at the end of the year, but it's kind of hard to say otherwise. I think you're asking a lot for this team to do more than that, considering what they have. I mean, it can happen. We'd love to see our guy Ian put together a full season.
Yeah.
I think he would say the same thing. Like put together a legit full 162 game season. I think that would be huge. We'll see. My only expectations are to see if these impact players are going to, make a difference. What happens with Wilson? I think he's gone. I don't think there's any chance.
Starting to lean the same way.
It's just all this stuff that's been coming out. I know Patrick Mooney just wrote an article literally titled "With Contract Extensions Doubtful and the Trade Deadline Looming." Like we're in March right now, and we're already talking about that. Like this is we're not even close to the middle of the season. I just don't see, and we've talked about this in the past. I just don't see him. I just don't see the relationship there.
Let's hope Amaya's ready.
Yeah, I mean, but even that, and people are going to might get mad at this, but you can get by with a catcher that can just handle a pitching staff, especially when you have the DH. You can get by with it, and I know that's not what Cubs fans want to hear, but and I'm not disparaging what Wilson can do and the talent that he has, but
I think that's totally right. I think we've fallen in love with the World Series Cubs teams and everyone that was on that team, and you just want to hold on to everybody. And I would love to keep Wilson around forever, but like you said, you can kind of work into that position, almost kind of like a running back on a football team.
Yeah, and I think that, and you're exactly right, Zach. And I think that argument's different than the idea of spending and being a team with a top payroll. I think that's different than the conversation of, hey, we need to extend this guy because of what he's done or what he's meant to the organization. And again, I know I've made the argument at times that the Cubs should, well, back when I thought Anthony Rizzo was being lowballed and when I thought Chris Bryant was, not being treated right and all that type of stuff, I made that argument. But I just think I've been saying it a lot. I think Jed's a savage. I think he doesn't care. I think he wants to be Bill Belichick. Now the only problem is he's got to win like the Patriots, and it's up to him to figure out if he can do that. I just know that when Jed puts an offer down, that's the offer. Like, you're going to have a hard time negotiating that. Like, here's your offer. We gave you this offer because we've done the research to figure out what we believe you're worth, and this is what it is. And I'll try to reach out to the people that I know to see if his tactics or habits have changed. But from what I've been told, the Cubs front office are just savages when it comes to money. Here's the offer. Take the offer or leave the offer. That's it.
At least they don't do it different. I mean, they do the same thing.
Consistency.
There. Thank you, Boomy.
Consistency. I think the one thing they can improve on is, hey, on the day Tom Ricketts is going to go buy Chelsea FC in England, why don't we give Wilson Contreras, the 1.25 that he wants? Let's just, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we just do that and save the headline, right? Let's just get that done. Even if we don't want to resign him, even if we're going to trade him, just let's cut our losses. Let's pick our battles.
Very true. Have you been watching some of the spring training games?
I have been. I'm very happy to, and I know you all are watching them too. Well, Zach, what's the deal with your TV? Do you have marquee yet or what?
I'm good on marquee.
You do have it. Okay, you could.
I do not. You
don't, because of the area.
Because I'm very stubborn and I refuse to switch from Hulu Live.
You know what? I respect it. I respect it. I understand.
I can't do it. I
understand.
I don't want. It's not even that I have this moral obligation to Hulu Live. I'm just very busy right now, and I don't have time to. I can't even complain about it because it's probably going to take 40 minutes. Cancel Hulu Live, switch to something else. But I just don't want to do it. And now
I get it. You can find a stream online. I get it. I know.
Oh yeah, Reddit, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I get it. Marquee. Yeah, I'm glad that they're watching. I'm glad that they're actually producing and showing each game this year, which I think is great.
Any names out of camp that you want to keep an eye on?
Our guy Scott Efros.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
God,
I got to show him a little bit more love. The one time I talked with him was on one of the Compound podcasts, and nice guy. It was great to talk to him, and he's come out and he looks like he can be a weapon for the bullpen, which is you know what, man? Like, he changed his whole pitching style around, and he's grinding it out. And
it's gonna be so hard to do.
Yeah, and he takes the ball like it's the last like freaking thing he's gonna do in his life, man. that guy takes the ball like he doesn't mess around when
he's going into a legitimate war.
Literally. Yeah, I think the seams are gonna like break off the ball. He's just gonna squish it.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, but you know what? Those guys make a difference. That's like I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but like those are types of guys that you win playoff games with. Like 5th inning, guy on second, you need 1 out or you need 2 outs. Like he's one of those guys that can get a tough righty out. And so we'll see. I mean, he's one of the guys. Who else we got? I mean,
Fred, are any of those pieces that the Cubs picked up at the trade deadline, or any of those closer to being seen at Wrigley here this coming season than people might expect?
I mean, Owen Kaisi, if I'm saying his name right, he's probably the number 1 guy. Killian from the Giants, I think everyone's trying to see if he's actually going to be a legit big league starter. I think he could make his debut. I don't mean to dance around the question, Boomy, but what I want to know is what's up with Braylon. Because I'm starting to get worried. I'm starting to get worried on what his deal is. Because he hasn't pitched since the White Sox game in 2020 on the South Side. And I start to get worried when a guy just isn't playing and isn't participating.
We've seen that before.
I know, right? We've seen that before. I start to get really worried when you have. It sounds like we're, and again, I'm not saying he's not hurt or he's not sick or he's not injured, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff around him to where he's not participating, and I find that kind of. I don't want to say disheartening, but worrisome.
Concerning. I think for sure.
Yeah, concerning. Because like Braylon was the number 1 prospect 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's kind of been forgotten about, and he's pitched in a big league game. And I don't know if it's a matter of him taking a bunch of steps back, or if he's really, taken out of commission because of what's going on in his life. But I think we'd all agree, if you're not like doing what you have to do, like you're gonna get passed up. And not only are you gonna get passed up by someone in your organization, but you're gonna get passed up by the rest of the league, because the rest of the league's just getting better. Like the game gets better and better and better and better and better. And if you're not staying up to date with that and you're not improving yourself, then we're gonna have some problems. And so I would probably say even if he doesn't pitch in a big league game, like, can we at least get some type of like numbers on him, some type of minor league experience? Because
just get him on a mound.
Exactly. I think to go what could be very well like 2 years of not like participating in a competitive game would be really troublesome.
Totally agree. Pete Crow Armstrong is another name I'm kind of interested to see how he develops. Yeah, that guy could be. If he lives up to the hype, could be an interesting piece.
Now, I should have listened to the interview, and I don't mean to go on a tangent, but I'm assuming when you talk to Frank the Tank, he had some strong words about PCA, or was that after the trade deadline? I know you guys had him on the show, right, Zach? The Tank, Frank.
I think we talked
from
to him last.
Barstool?
I think it was before the trade for PCA.
Zach, you gotta get in there. You gotta reach out, Zach.
That guy is. I love Frank the Tank. He is one of the best.
No, I know.
He's an absolute wild man.
He is. He loves his teams, and he'll let you know.
He's got to be. Well, I didn't even see. Was he happy about Tyreek Hill going to the Dolphins?
He's happy about Tyreek Hill going to the Dolphins, but also he doesn't think Tua is going to be able to do it.
There you go.
That's fair.
So you gotta love Frank the Tank.
I can imagine, Zach. I can imagine you coordinating like him getting on this type of StreamYard service would be difficult. No.
Well, it's usually like, hey Frank, you want to come on? Yep. Are you good for this time? Yep. Okay. Very quick answers.
That guy's great.
But he's one of a kind. You gotta
He's
is
definitely a unique character.
Yeah.
Dom, I got to go across the pond real quick too, and what I think might be the U.S. version of us receiving the Beatles from England. Maybe it's us giving the Dom to England in return.
Oh,
Are you going to say no to Ricketts with the Chelsea football club or the football club's supporters here, or what? Are you really what I want to know is tell us why ultimately the Ricketts family, Ken Griffin, why them trying to buy Chelsea is bad for Cubs fans.
I just think, and I've talked to a lot of people about this, I just think the more things you have your hand in, the more mistakes you're going to make. And I think that's good. I think that goes for anything in life. And I don't think, and like literally, I find it so ironic that the same ownership group that has made arguments for, let's say, biblical losses or let's say, not having enough money because of the investments they've already made within and around Wrigleyville, how they cannot say that maybe in an investment that they make in, I don't know, a European soccer club will not then come back to hurt the goddamn Chicago Cubs. I find it so ironic, disheartening, troubling that we can't like that they at least are not, I don't want to say admitting, but not like looking at say, hey, like we just were in a situation where we're cutting jobs within the Cubs organization. Maybe it's not the best time to now go and try to buy something. And I know Ken Griffin is a billionaire, just like
he was one of the wasn't he one of the AMC guys that took a bath there and then kind of manipulated the market back? I think he's the Citadel guy.
Citadel
guy.
Yeah. I know
Citadel took a bloodbath on that, I believe.
And I know he's worth a lot of money. I guess again, the Ricketts family has every right to do whatever they want. And I'm not going to look, how do I want to say this? Like, ultimately, this is a Ricketts family thing. It's not a Cubs thing, and it's not like you can get mad at the Cubs because the Ricketts family are doing this. Like, it is solely a Ricketts family venture to try to go out and get this team. I just would think that if they had, and I'm not saying they don't, but if they were to look at what they are doing objectively and saying, we've gotten burned by our own mistakes, and they've admitted to this. Like they got over their skis with all the real estate stuff, and it hurt the team. Like, I don't know how they can't look in the mirror and say, I don't know if we're ready to do this. And I think every Cubs fan has the absolute right to worry about this hurting the team and really diminishing the focus that the Ricketts family will have on the Chicago Cubs. Because I'll say it again, and I will always say this, I think the Chicago Cubs should have a top 3 payroll every year. I think they should be competitive every single year. Even if you're not trying or thinking you can win a World Series, there's no reason why you shouldn't be paying free agents on the market to then, hey, how about this? We paid this guy, and if he's good and we stink, well, then we'll flip him and get prospects. Like, you want to do that? Like, this is what Cubs fans don't understand this, and a lot of fans don't understand this. The money that's being saved does not go into the savings account. It goes into the checking account of the Ricketts family. I'm sorry. It does not go into savings like an allowance. And at the end of the month, oh, look, I got this much money and I can spend it because we sit. No, that's not how it works. It is literally, it's just a simple revenue over costs, and whatever's not is going back to the owners. And I would hope, considering that the Chicago Cubs have the highest or the most expensive fan experience in Major League Baseball, considering all the other things the fans pay for with this team and all the money that's brought in, I would think the obligation would be put on the Cubs to literally act as, and I might go on a tangent here. I know I'm already on one. I'm sorry. But literally act as an investor for major league players. Hey, we're the Chicago Cubs. We have a bunch of money. We see all these players as assets. Maybe we're not going to win with them, but we'll still pay them. And then if another team wants them, we'll trade them off for prospects. How, like, this happens every day in corporate America. Like, I just don't understand, like, why fans let these owners off the hook when it's like it literally could benefit their own idea in trying to grow an organization. Nick Castellanos. Okay, let's sign Nick Castellanos for whatever deal. And if it doesn't work out, we'll trade him. And then we'll get the prospects back. And that's it. Like, if you don't do it, you're not doing anything. Unless you are blocking young talent like a Brennan Davis or a PCA in the future or a KEC or whoever it may be. Unless that situation is coming about, there's no reason for a big league team to not act as an investor for major league talent to either use or flip at the deadline. It doesn't make sense because that money only goes back into the pockets of the Ricketts family. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Wrong? No.
Did you see what Jack Peterson had to say about other teams also not spending?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like these billionaires think that, this is going to be so lucrative for them. It's like, well, you have to spend money also.
Yeah, you got to spend money. We need to start. We honestly need to start vetting some of these owners. We need to start, making the process to receive a franchise more difficult. I think we need to start regulating or relegating teams.
Yes.
Speaking of, whatever European soccer, I don't even know. It's the Premier League, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that, like, it's just an absolute joke that we have to deal with this. And I would hope, as a Cubs fan, that our team could set the standard to be, an organization that you would want to look at, or that the league would look at and say, this group is innovative. This group is changing the game. This organization is really doing something different than everyone else. And I think the Cubs should be that. And the optimistic side of me hopes that can maybe happen in the future. We'll see.
I don't have my own soccer team. I'm sorry. I was just going to say I don't have my own soccer team. Does that mean we got to be Chelsea fans? Like, because if they're good, that means more money. I don't know. I just don't know if we have to go with them or not.
I guess. I mean, I say this all the time.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Right?
I know, right? I say this all the time. It's like the Ricketts family are our parents. They give us.
They control us. They control our
do.
happiness, our sadness, our anger.
They give us the allowance. They give us the opportunities. They give us the vacations as a kid. Like they are. So it's I'm here with you guys, but I'm also like I also understand that like in my lifetime, the Ricketts family are probably always going to own the team, unless they find themselves in a situation where they're like, all right, this valuation of our franchise is way too high. We're getting out of this. But I'd be lying if I was like, there's no reason for the next, 60, 70 years that the Ricketts family aren't owning the team. That's just me, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, on the other hand, Fred, we talk about things that, make us happy. I know something that makes me happy. So we got to ask, are we going to get the Twitter spaces or clubhouse chats back again this season?
Oh, it's a great question. Hopefully, I got to talk to my guy Adam about it. I'm glad you asked. Yeah, probably. I can't say for sure. I think it was good. I would like to transition into Twitter Spaces. We did everything exclusively on Clubhouse last year. I thought they went well, but we'll see. I want to make it a little bit more interesting. I wish we would have more. Maybe if we did go to Twitter Spaces, more people would join and I'd get some more people that were.
It's easier to share there.
Yeah. There'd be more people that disagree with what I'm saying, and then we could have like a true back and forth. I love the people that would join. It was awesome, but it was often like everyone was kind of on the same page, and I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I would love to hear from like the person who's like, no, Dom, like you have no idea what you're talking about. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And I think everyone knows how I would respond. Maybe I'd respond a little bit more formally than I would in the past, but I think if someone riled me up enough, then we could have some good healthy debate.
The Twitter troll factory would be out.
But it is true though. You like the love, but sometimes you like the hate too.
Yeah, you need some. You need some.
You need rivals in life. You can't go through life with everybody like on your side. You need an opponent. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Give me something to hate.
I don't think people would be, I don't want to say as happy or notice the news that happened today if there weren't a lot of people out there that have given me a lot of crap over the years. A lot of people that think I'm the devil and think I'm the worst thing to, ever be associated with Cubs Twitter. Because I know there are people out there that believe that. And you know what? For those people, I'm sorry. God bless you and your family. That's all I have to say.
Just gotta show them just every time they say that, just send them the picture. Just be like, hey, hey buddy, next time you want to say something, did this.
It really would be. Maybe I don't mean to brag, but it would be kind of debilitating if you were like, man, this Dom guy is such an idiot. He says all this stupid stuff all the time. He's always saying these dumb shticks and jokes, and then literally like their team came up with the exact same phrase for the yearly slogan. Like, it's not like I hired a marketing firm to like come up with this. Like,
did.
This is just like this is just like my brain that did it. It's not like I have this, think tank of people that came up with this years ago. Like, this is just me. Like, you could have done the same thing. So those for the people that don't like me out there, it's like, I don't know what to tell you. This is just
that's called look at the scoreboard.
Yeah. It's just kind of like hard work and perseverance, if you will. I don't know.
That's awesome.
I think it's awesome, man.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Well, make sure that you check Fred out on Twitter and Instagram at Dom_Frederic. He's got the coffee going on. I'm sure that as soon as the season will be going, we'll be getting some more shirts out. But Dom, as always, man, thank you so much for joining us. You still hold the top plaque on the little board that I made myself over there as the most frequent guest. And as of right now, you're kind of running away with the race.
Yeah, so I think you've lapped the field a bunch of times at this point.
Yeah, so you're firmly at number one. But thank you as always for coming on, man.
No, you guys are the best. As I feel like I've said a lot the last couple times I've been on here. I've probably done, I don't know, 50 different podcasts over the years, and you guys are, if you're not number one, you're top 2 or 3.
Hey, we'll take top 15. We're not greedy.
No,
hey, get on the Mount Rushmore, and I'm happy.
You guys are absolutely up there, and whenever Zach gives me the DM, I know Zach, this one took a little bit longer to do, but whenever you
were busy. You were a busy man.
Whenever you send it, I never say no. I always try to find a time.
Very
well,
true.
you are the man.
We really
Dom.
appreciate that.
You got it.